Welcome learners, this is Dr. R. Bhubadi, Assistant Professor from the Department of Educational Technology of Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University. In this video module, we are going to learn about the technical feasibility, managerial feasibility, location feasibility and utility feasibility. Learning objectives. After the completion of this module, the learner will be able to explain the technical feasibility and its key factors, illustrate the key factors of managerial feasibility, discuss the purposes of locational feasibility, describe the consideration of utility feasibility. Let's start with the technical feasibility. Technical feasibility refers to the assessment of whether a proposed project, system, or initiative can be successfully implemented from a technical perspective. It involves evaluating whether the required technology, resources, infrastructure, and expertise are available to develop and maintain the project. Key factors of technical feasibility. There are 12 key factors of technical feasibility. They are 1. Technology availability, 2. Infrastructure, 3. Resources, 4. Compatibility, 5. Scalability, 6. Security, 7. Performance, 8. Data management, 9. Technical risk, 10. Regulation and standards, 11. Cost, and 12th one is timeline. Key factors of technical feasibility. First one, technical availability. Assess whether the required technologies, tools, hardware and software are available or can be developed within the project's constraints. Determine if any new technology needs to be adopted or if existing technologies can be leveraged. Second one, infrastructure. Consider the existing infrastructure and determine if it can be support the project's requirement. This includes network capabilities, server capacity, data management and any other necessary infrastructure component. 3. Resources. Evaluate the availability of skilled personnel such as developers, engineers, designers and technical support. Determine if the team has the required expertise to build, implement and maintain the project. Fourth one, compatibility. Check for the compatibility issues between different technologies and systems that will be integrated. Ensure the project components can be together, work seamlessly without conflicts. Fifth one, the scalability. The scalability is assess the whether proposed solution can be handled increased loads, users or data volumes in the future without a significant drop in performance. Scalability is crucial to accommodate growth and change in demand. Sixth one, security. Evaluate the security measures that needs to be implemented in protect the systems from the potential threats and vulnerabilities. This includes data protection, authentication and authorization and incorporation. The seventh key factor is performance. The performance determines if the system will meet the required performance standards such as response times, processing speeds, and reliability. Eighth one is data management. Consider how data will be collected, stored, processed, and retrieved. Evaluate the data architecture and database required to the project. Ninth, the technical risk. Identify the potential technical challenges and risks that could be impact the successful implementation of the project. develop mitigation strategies to address the risks. 10th, the regulation and standards. Ensure that the project complies with relevant industry standards and regulations. This is particularly important in regulated industries such as healthcare or finance. Cost. Evaluate the cost associated with acquiring and implementing the necessary technology as well as ongoing maintenance and support. The last key factor of technical feasibility is timeline. Assess the time required for the development, testing, and deployment. Consider any potential delays due to the technical challenges or resource constraints. In summary, the technical feasibility analysis is a critical step into the project planning process. It helps the stakeholders to understand whether a proposed project is viable from the technological standpoint or whether the necessary resources and expertise are available to successfully execute the project. With this, we are moving to the another feasibility, that is managerial feasibility. Managerial feasibility refers to the assessment of whether a project or initiative can be effectively managed and controlled to achieve its goal. It involves evaluating the project alignment with the organization's management process, structure, and capabilities. There are 13 key factors of managerial feasibility. 1. Project planning and organization. 2. Project leadership. 3. Resource allocation. 4. Risk management. Fifth one, change management. 6. Stakeholder management. 7. Communication. 8. Decision making processes. 9. Conflict resolution. 10. Project monitoring and control. 11. Project closure and evaluation. 12. Organizational culture. 13. Managerial support. The first key factor of managerial feasibility is project planning and organization. Assess the project's objectives, scope, and takes can be clearly defined and organized. Determine if the project team can establish a well-structured plan for execution. Second, project leadership. Evaluate the availability of skilled and experienced project and managers who can guide the project team and ensure effective communication, coordination, and decision making. 3. Resource allocation. Consider the availability of financial, human, and material resources needed for the project. Evaluate if resources can be allocated optimally to support the project's requirement. Risk management. Determine if the project team can be identify, assess, and manage potential risks and uncertainties. Effective risk management strategies should be in place to mitigate negative impacts on the project. Fourth, change management. Assess the organization availability to manage change that might arise from the project implementation. Evaluate how the project will be integrated into existing process and systems. Sixth, stakeholder management. Identify and analyze the project stakeholders, both internal and external. Evaluate whether the project team can be effectively engaged and communicate with stakeholders to ensure their needs and concerns are addressed. Communication. Consider the communication channels and strategies that will be used to keep stakeholders informed about project progress, milestones, and any issues that raises. Decision making process. Evaluate the decision making framework within the organization. Determines if related to the project can be made promptly and effectively to avoid the delay and conflicts. 9. Conflict resolution. Assess the organizational approach to resolving conflicts that may rise during the project execution. Determine if there are mechanisms in place to address disagreement and ensure project continuity. 10th, project monitoring and control. Evaluate whether the organization has the tool and process to monitor project performance, track progress, and make necessary adjustment to keep the project on track. 11th, project closure and evaluation. Consider how the project will be closed out, including evaluation its success against the initial objectives. Determine if lessons learned will be documented and applied to future projects. 12th one, organizational culture. Assess the whether organization cultures support project management practices, collaboration, and continuous improvement. The project success can be influenced by the alignment between the project goals and the organizational culture. 13th, and the managerial support. The managerial support determines if there is sufficient buy-in and support from senior management for the project. Adequate support can be overcome obstacles and ensure that the project remains a priority. In summary, managerial feasibility analysis focuses on evaluating the organization's capacity to effectively plan, execute, monitor, and control the proposed project. It considers the organizational structure, processes, leadership, and resources to determine if the project can be managed successfully within the given context. With these explanations on the managerial feasibility, let me move for the location feasibility. Locational feasibility refers to the assessment of whether a particular location is suitable for a specific purpose, project, or activity. It involves evaluating various factors to determine whether a proposed location is viable and practical. This concept is commonly used in urban planning, real estate development, business site selection, and other fields whether the choice of location can be significantly impact the success or efficiency of a project. There are 11 key factors of the locational feasibility. They are 1. Accessibility, 2. Market demand, 3. Infrastructure, 4th. Competition, 5th. Zoning and regulations, 6th. Cost, 7th. Environmental impact, 8th. Labor force, 9. Cultural and social factors, 10th. Risk assessment, and 11th is the further growth potentials. Accessibility. How easily people or goods reach the location. Proximity to transportation networks such as roads, highways, public transit, and airport is crucial. Market demand. Is there sufficient demand for the products or services at chosen location? Understanding the target market and its preference is essential. Infrastructure. Availability of utilities such as water, electricity, sewage, and telecommunication services is critical for the functioning of many projects. Competition. Whether the competitive landscape is chosen, location, accessing the presence of competitors and their strengths can be determined if there is room for a new business or project. Fifth, zoning and regulations. Local zoning laws and regulations can impact whether and what can be built or operated in a specific area. Compliance with these rules is essential. Cost. Consideration of land and property cost, construction cost, operational expenses, and potential tax implications is necessary to ensure the financial viability. Seventh, environmental impact. Understanding the potential environment impact of a project on a chosen location is crucial for the sustainability, and legal compliance. 8. Labor force. Availability of a skilled and appropriate labor force in the area is important, especially for business that rely heavily on human resources. Ninth, cultural and social factors. Understanding the local culture, demographics, and social dynamics is important for business and projects that require community engagement. 10. Risk assessment. Identifying potential risks such as natural disasters, political instability, or economic fluctuations in the regions is vital for long-term planning. 11th key factor is future growth potentials. Evaluating the potential for growth and development in the area over the long term is important for investment that requires a lasting presence. The assessment of locational feasibility typically involves collecting data, conducting surveys, engaging with stakeholders, and using various analytical tools to make informed decisions. The goal is to choose a location that aligns with the project's objectives, maximize its chances of success, and minimize the potential challenges and risks. With this explanation on the locational feasibility, we move for the utility feasibility. Utility feasibility refers to the assessment of whether essential utilities and services can be definitely provided to a specific location or project. These utilities and services typically include things like water supply, electricity, sewage disposal, telecommunications, and other infrastructure necessary for the proper functioning of residential, commercial, or industrial developments. Evaluating the utility feasibility is crucial to ensure that a proposed project can be adequately serviced and sustained. Key factors of utility feasibility: infrastructure availability, capacity and demand, upgrade and expansion, regulatory compliance, environmental impact, cost, long-term stability, backup and redundancy, coordination with the service providers, and community impact. Key factors of utility feasibility. First one is infrastructure availability. Infrastructure availability is determining whether the necessary utility infrastructure is present or can be developed within the proposed location. This includes assessing the availability of water mains, electric lines, sewage systems, etc. Capacity and demand. Analyzing whether the existing utility infrastructure has the capacity to meet the demand generated by the project. This is particularly important for the project that requires significant water or electricity consumption. Upgrade and expansion. If the existing utility infrastructure is sufficient, accessing the feasibility and cost upgrading of expanding it to be accommodate the needs of the project. Fourth, regulatory compliance. Ensuring that the project adheres to local regulations and standards related to utility provisions such as environmental regulations for sewage disposal or safety regulations for electrical systems. Environmental impact. Evaluating the potential environmental impact of utility installations and operations on the local ecosystem and the community. Cost. Estimating the cost associated with the connecting to or installing utility services. This includes the installation cost, ongoing operational cost, and recurred permits of fees. Long-term sustainability. Considering the long-term sustainability of utility services, this includes factors like resource availability, renewable energy options, and plan for future growth. Backup and redundancy. assessing the need for backup systems or redundancy to ensure continued utility services in the case of emergencies or system failures. Coordination with service providers. Collaborating with utility service providers to determine their ability to provide services to the proposed location and coordinating the timing of installations. 10. Community impact. Considering the impact of utility installations and operations on the local community, including the potential disruption during the construction and any visual or noise related concerns. Utility feasibility studies often involves working closely with utility companies, engineering firms, environmental experts, and local government authorities. These studies help decision makers understand the challenges and opportunities related to utility provisions for a specific project and ensure that essential services can be reliably provided to the intended locations. So far, we have learned about the concepts on technical feasibility, managerial feasibility, locational feasibility, and utility feasibility. With this explanations on these feasibilities, I would like to conclude this module. Thank you for listening. Thank you. These are the references for your further studies. Thank you.